Hello there. This is the Ronnie Record Show, and this is Ron of Ronnie Records. So today, while Karen is sneaking away from the set here, I'm going to take this opportunity to do a little ranting and raving. And it's all about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm sure you've heard of it, and I've heard of it, and I always thought it was awesome until I found out that there's very few rock and rollers in there. Now remember, I'm a little narrow-minded about what rock and roll is. But even if I open it up to rock, and we could call it the Rock and Roll and Rock Hall of Fame, there's a ton of people in there that don't belong. So let me just name a few for your interest. Simon and Garfunkel. Boy, are those heavy rockers. Not. How about Joni Mitchell? Joan Baez? Not either. They are not rock and rollers. Put them in the Folk Singers Hall of Fame if there is one. Please, get them out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then there's Miles Davis. Of course, he's a great jazz musician. We all know that. But rock and roll, even rock, even close to it, not. ABBA, what great singers they are. What a great group they were. They've been lionized in the great two movies with Meryl Streep, and I've got all their hits. I love that group. But rock and roll, I don't think so. And then, of course, there's the great Nina Simone. Now, come on. Great music, great musician, not a rock and roller. I mean, what a version of Porgy and Bess. She sang, I love you, Porgy. Oh, thank you, Nina. I think I even have that record. I like it so much. But let's don't call it rock and roll. So, I mean, I just want to tear up this list. When I look at it, it just drives me nuts because it's not rock and roll. And I even get madder when I think about some of the people that aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like maybe this one. You hear that? That's rock and roll. Larry Williams, Boney Maroney. Every garage band back in the 50s did that song. He also did Short Fat Fanny, so he went from the skinny to the fatties. He covered it all, and he was on the same label as Little Richard, the specialty label. Rock and roll, he belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, you know, uh, how about Screaming Jay Hawkins? Listen to this, rock and roll. I put a spell on you. Way before Creedence did it later on. Creedence made probably a bigger hit. But Screaming Jay Hawkins, he's a pioneer, belongs in the Hall of Fame. And Tell Vikings, I remember this song blaring out the Mel's Drive-In and Salinas on Dragon Main, Cruising Main. Wow, 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 wow. Come Go With Me. They also had a big hit with Whiskey Bells. Definitely should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, I'll admit, called it puppy love. Paul Anka, he's not really a rock and roller, but he belongs in there. I don't care. He wrote hundreds of songs. Huge success in the music world. I put him in there. Look the Other Way. Not too much rock and roll, but what a writer, what a musician, what a composer. Oh my God. And In the Still of the Night by the Five Satins. They had a couple more hits. This song is classic, belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Absolutely. People see us everywhere. Oh, one of the most romantic songs ever written, ever sung by Conway Twitty. used to be a country singer, but before that he was a great rocker. Wonderful song. This group, the Chantels, they had a big hit with Maybe. This is another hit of theirs. I have a whole album of their hits. Female group, a lot of success. He's Gone. One of the great female rock and roll groups. Why aren't they in there in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And
hello, baby.
Tell me this is a rock and roll. Now he really only had one hit, maybe two. You got to remember, he was on that big rock and roll caravan. He went down on that airplane with Buddy Holly and Richie Valens. I don't care. He belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We all know that. This guy, he's kind of a teen idol. Karen would call him Bubblegum. Bobby Rydell. This is Swingin' Skull. And the Cats Are Cool. Yeah, it's a little bubblegummy, but I would throw him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in a hot second. This is a rock ballad by one of my favorites, Jack Scott. To the Lord, send me your love. He sent me an angel from heaven above. There's a lot of great singers, rock and rollers that haven't been in the Hall of Fame. And a lot of people have written up about the Hall of Fame, a lot of articles that say you should include these, a lot of rockers that didn't get in there. But when they leave out the original rock and rollers out of the 50s, that's just plain wrong. So I'll let it go. I'm over my tirade. And you'll never hear me talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame again. So this is Ron of Ronnie Records, of the Ronnie Record Show, signing off.